All right, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, we are looking at 10 cards that are absolutely worth grading right now because the upside of those graded cards is a huge percentage gain on the dollar value of the card. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel because we do this every couple of weeks when we find new cards that are worth a lot more graded than ungraded. So make sure you guys follow along if you want to see more like this. Now, with today's video, I just want to say thank you to our sponsor, which is PokeNotify. Now, PokeNotify is a premium Discord server. They're going to help you guys get notified when products restock. So if you want to find things like Prismatic Evolutions, the new Black Bolt and White Flare, and soon to come the new Mega Evolution set, these guys are going to be your best friend. Make sure you check them out, linked down in the description below. They are a Discord server that you can do a 3-day free trial right now and just test the product to make sure you like it. And if you do decide to sign up for their premium service, you can use code TWISTED25 for a discount. So thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. And let's start looking at these cards that you should be considering grading. The first one on the list is from Destined Rivals. It is Misty's Lapras. Now, Misty's Lapras isn't one of the most expensive cards in Destined Rivals, and it's probably not one you would consider grading when it's only about a $30 card. However, for some reason, the PSA 10 version of Misty's Lapras has been selling for $360, $350, $350, $350. There was one at $580. I don't know why. But again, most of them are selling at around about the $350 mark, where if you've got a $30 card and you can turn it into $350, it's probably worth grading, or at least considering grading if you think it could score a 10. Now, again, to get a PSA 10, you got to look at the corners, you got to look at the edges, you got to look at the surface, and you've got to look at the centering. They're the 4 key elements to getting a PSA 10. There are apps and tools that you can use to help you with pre-grading and making sure that you're getting the best chance to get a 10. If you guys want to know a little bit about them, let me know down in the comments and I'll add it to a future video to discuss what sort of tools I use when I'm submitting for grading as well. The second one on this list is the Pikachu from Celebrations. And when I tell you this one is crazy, this one is crazy because I didn't believe it until somebody told me what the PSA 10s of this were going for. And you'll probably see up on the screen that this Pikachu has had an absolute skyrocket in price, even though it's only sitting at $4, is up 234% in the last 3 months. So it was as cheap as like $1.23. It's now sitting at $4.25. Reason being, people started to catch on. The graded version of this card is ridiculous. Look at some of these sales on this card. $790, $799 from the PSA eBay account, $800, $850, $800, $570, $610, $610. So you're looking at like a minimum of $600 with this card in a 10. And I can't even explain to you why this is happening. I assume that this card is probably just really hard to grade and get in a 10. But if you are lucky enough to get one, then you have huge potential upside for this card. So you might have a few of these sitting in a binder somewhere. Might be worth checking them out to see if you can potentially score yourself a 10. Next up is one card that a lot of people have been talking about recently. It did have a huge boost up because of a buyout, and now it's starting to drop back down, but that hasn't really made a difference with the value that you're getting from a PSA 10 in this card, and that is the Greninja Gold Star. This one, again, subject to buyout, went from being like a $7 card to being like a $26 card. It's now sort of stabilized at around about $12. But if you look at the PSA 10s that have sold recently on this card, $455, $400, $635, $750, $345, $300. So there's some crazy high ones in here, which I feel like are outliers, so it's probably not worth looking at them. But even so, looking at these, $300 here, $275 here, $475 here, these are all in July. These are all this month, so they haven't really moved much. July 16th, $600. June 29th, so end of June, $699. End of June, $799. So there's a lot of sales here for a really high value, but I think around the $300 to $400 mark is probably the safe bet here. I wouldn't be paying $700 or $800 for this card. But again, it's a really cool artwork. If we've learned anything from history, gold stars do tend to be really popular and they go up in value and people love them. And when they start to disappear off the market, people want them that much more. So one worth keeping on your radar for the future. Next up is probably one of the smaller ones on this list, but I added it in here because I think it has huge potential in the future to grow. This is the Gengar Trainer Gallery from Lost Origin. This is only a $17 card right now. However, Gengar is super popular. This card is still very cheap. It should be fairly easily gradable, especially with the yellow borders. You can usually tell a little bit better with those than compared to the silver borders. And with it being such an interesting artwork, and to be honest, we all know what it looks like they're doing here. I think it's going to become a meme card that people are going to like. And because it is a popular Pokemon like Gengar, I can see it going up in the future. Now, in saying that, it's still cheap right now. It's $165 in a PSA 10, 155, 132, 160, which still, what was it, $17 card going for 160. It's probably worth grading if you do think it will get a PSA 10. And again, if you have multiple copies of this card, which a lot of people do because it's fairly easy to pull in Lost Origin, this one could potentially end up being you grade a couple, you keep one, you sell one, or maybe you hang on to them for a while and wait for it to go up. Because once Lost Origin starts to move out of rotation and you can almost never find it anymore, it's one of those cards that people are going to like and they're going to chase after. Next up, getting into some tag teams. Obviously, tag teams are super popular right now. Everyone seems to be going after tag teams, whether it's graded or raw. The Reshiram and Charizard promo, the gold promo, $31 if you're buying a raw copy right now, but the PSA 10, $350, $370, $430, $450, $350. Couple here that have accepted best offers or canceled, $350, $223, $230, $338. So anywhere from sort of $250 to $450 this is selling for right now. So, I mean, this is just a promo card, guys. A lot of you probably have this in your binder. If you were collecting during the Sun and Moon era when this came out, I don't personally have it because I only got back into Pokemon last year, but this has been on my radar. It's a card that I've always looked at and gone, I need to pick that up because I really like it. It's Reshiram and Charizard, two popular Pokemon. I think it'll go up and I just keep putting it off and putting it off. But again, now that I've seen these PSA 10 prices, it's kind of made me want to pick it up even more. So definitely consider that one on your next purchase. Coming up next is the Eevee EX from the Super Premium collection in Prismatic Evolutions. This one is sitting at $21 right now. It's actually down quite a bit from where it started at $38. So down to 21 bucks now, which is super cheap to pick up. If you can find one with good centering, you're looking at $375, $315, $375, $345. So in the mid to high 300s for this card, if you're getting a PSA 10. And again, the point of this is one, if you've got these cards because maybe you purchased the Super Premium collection and you get one that's worth grading, you can then have a higher value card to trade or barter for other cards that you want to put into your collection. Or if you just need some extra cash, you can sell it onwards and pay whatever bills you need to pay for, right? Because that's kind of one thing that Pokemon can help with is the value of the cards being so significant, especially right now in a boom. You can leverage the cards you have to help you pay off other things that you might need to pay off or you might want to pay off. Next up on the list is Ethan's Typhlosion from Destined Rivals, and another one that's gone down obviously since release, sitting at $38 right now, but the PSA 10 is around the $300 mark. There's only a couple of sales on this, so again, take this one maybe with a grain of salt because there's not a lot to compare it to. But we had a canceled order for $375. However, this one sold for $300 plus 26 delivery. This one sold for $435 with free shipping. And then these ones down here, these seem to be Japanese here. This one was a PSA 9 that went for $125. Again, a PSA 10 here went for $213. So realistically, like 200 to, I mean, the high was $435, but I would say probably $2 to $250 is probably the safe spot for this one in a PSA 10. Next up, we're going to the Mewtwo from Scarlet Violet base. Again, another card that has gone on a run thanks to a buyout. Heaps of purchases here at the end of June, early July, taking this card from being like $15 all the way up to like $23. And in a PSA 10, again, this is one of those cards that people just love the artwork of. We've got some sales for 200. We've got some for 300, 330. There's a few Japanese ones mixed in here, but there's another one for 260 plus 50 shipping, 294 that was canceled. Here's one for 330 plus 32 shipping from PSA's eBay site, 285 plus 80, plus 28 shipping. there's so many sales here for 300 plus on the Mewtwo. And that makes it one of those cards where, you know, it's a promo card. It's one that was easily accessible from the UPC when 151 originally came out. But if you didn't jump on it then and you waited, the popularity of 151 only keeps growing and growing and growing. So there is potential now that you've missed the boat. But if you can pick this up potentially as a single from a card show or from a local card store and there's a good centering on it and it's in good condition, you might be able to score yourself a 10 with this one. Now, I couldn't make this video and include the Mewtwo and not the Mew. Mew is $37 as a raw card right now, but in the PSA 10, it is sitting around 400. So you got 400, 394, 375, 365. You got 360, 388, 399. And keep in mind, these are all in July as well. This one goes back a while to January. This was 335. Again, this one was July 20th, 365, July 20, 365, July 25, 30 for both Mew and Mewtwo, which is a pretty good deal when you look at what they're going for individually in PSA 10. 314 on this one, that was on July 19th. So pretty much every day, these are selling in a PSA 10 for around about $300 to $400, depending on the listing. And last but not least, this is kind of an unexpected one, and this surprised me when I saw it. It is the Pikachu illustration contest, which was just given out as like a free promo card. Well, at least in Australia here it was. I'm not sure where you guys got these in the US, whether it was through GameStop or something else. But out here in Australia, this card came from EB Games as a purchase bonus. So if we bought X amount of Pokemon or spent X amount on Pokemon when these were around, you got given the 3-pack of illustration artwork cards, which was this one, a Feraligatr, and I can't remember, maybe a Toxicroak was the third card in the little packet in the plastic, and they gave you these for free when you spent a certain amount. This Pikachu in a PSA 10, I mean, raw, it's only $13 to $14. PSA 10, $250, $250, $250, $190. These are all July sales as well. $190 for a free card that we were given. You're looking at $190. There's a few lower ones here, $145, $140, but you're looking at a card that's selling for like $180 to $250 depending on the listing. And this thing is just a freebie. It was one that we were just given, which is crazy. I mean, it's a cute artwork, and I get it's the illustration contest, so there is a little bit of aura around this card. But I still think for such a basic kind of card, it's not even a holo, it's just a basic card. I still think that there is ridiculous amounts of money to be made off of this card, which is crazy considering we were handed these out just from purchasing Pokemon. So there was 10 cards that are worth grading for you guys this week. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something and potentially picked up a few cards that you can look at for submitting to grading. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Again, we're doing a giveaway at 5K subs, so if you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate it. And with that said, I will see you guys next time.